Hello viewers, and welcome to our first look at MotoGP 14 then. So you've seen the slow-mo video, you've seen the improvement in graphics. We're going to go through all the different options, not in this video. First, we just want to play the game, but we can see the basic options there as well, including the time attack now and safety car mode. There's lots and lots of options in bikes in this. Obviously, we have all the MotoGP 14 class, but we also have Moto 2, Moto 3, MotoGP 13 bikes, as well as Legend Classic riders as well. So we have all the riders in there. This is an early build. It's not representative of the final game, so there's still lots of improvements. And even the slow-mo video, which I've shown, that again, that's an early version, but you can already see the improvements that there is to the bike models as well. So we're going to go through first a race. Let's just play it. Let's see what it's like. Now, this isn't the first race I did. I played it before this and went back and recorded this video. I'll be riding here, as you can see, with Pro, with the manual tuck-in and separate brakes. I'm finding, for me, it's really intuitive. We're not going to talk about handling so much in this video. We're going to be doing some handling analysis videos, which are going to show a bit more in terms of how you want to play. I mean, in MotoGP 13, I tended to play semi-pro. I just found it was a nice balance for me. I enjoyed the game more. And it's not about riding a simulator. It's about finding something that works for you. So, riding as Marc Marquez, pro control, pro handling, and let's see how we get on. Let's see how we get on. So, away. Quickly, I haven't changed the difficulty. I believe the difficulty's on medium, so they're not the hardest AI. You know, I don't want to go straight in on the hardest AI. You do need to practice. First thing is, I suppose, getting used to just taking a racing line on the circuit. I'm learning the circuit still. I did a few practice races just to, with the standard handling, just to get an idea on the line and the overtaking spots. And because the last thing you guys want to see is me smacking into another bike every 2 corners. So it's nice to have a little practice. And this is that long straight I'm talking about, where I think there's going to be room for overtaking if you're hard on the brakes, if you've got a lot of power. Certainly opportunity for track position there. If you get your braking wrong there, you will just fly off into the gravel. So much like Mugello in that way, you do need to get your braking pinpoint right. But unlike Mugello, that has a big hill at the end, which slows the bike down a bit more. This doesn't. Into another tricky braking zone. That's okay. Hooked it up well, the apex. Wanting to keep away from the AI riders there. We don't want to get mixed up with them. They will... at the moment, the AI has been quite sensible so far. It's not been too blind. I say that, I bet someone smacks into me now. I don't believe anyone does in this race. Nice progressive corner there on the power. And now this is the corner I was talking about before, the last corner. You want to brake as sort of late, but take a lot of speed into this. I went a bit too fast there. That's okay. Bit of rear brake helped me get the bike in. Handling wise, so far it's quite intuitive. It's refined from last year. They refined the suspension, they've refined the rider movement, but they've also helped in terms of just the rear brake there, just helping me get into corners a little bit more. It's a little bit more intuitive, a little bit easier to judge. Just a little bit. It does take some practice to get your turn-ins right, and obviously that depends greatly on what bike you're riding as well. And we'll be looking at the field strength in terms of bikes and lap times. So what are we going to look at in these videos? Well, we're going to be looking at some races. We're going to be looking at races from every category. We're going to be looking at all the options that are available and the handling options. We'll have a video of the safety car and we'll see that in action as well. So we're going to go through pretty much everything there is in the sort of form of the core elements that you are going to look for in terms of the game, that you might be looking for in terms of if you're considering to buy it, to see, is it fun and is it something you'll come back to, and does it have a lot there to test out. Now, ordinarily, because we have these games early, we don't have the opportunity to test them online. Of course, this is an early development version. We haven't had the opportunity to test it online, but I will look into if we have that option near a launch. As we go over this bumpy section. This is the section I was thinking about. It's not cambered, it's bumpy. So you want to get the bike nice and straight over that, otherwise it can lose traction. That corner there is, you've got to get it right. You've got to get in the flow of the circuit. Once you fall out of the flow, it takes a few corners to get back into it again. Whoa, a bit tight that time. Trying to go through the inside. Bit of a bump. No problem. Aggressive Marquez working his way through the field. Into turn one. Turn one is actually surprisingly tricky on the brakes. The bike does have a tendency to understeer there, so you really want to get on the brakes quite early, get it into that corner. Gives you a nice exit. And as you can see, so far for me, after just a few laps, it seems to be on the racing line. It seems to be easier to keep on the racing line and build consistency. And as I go down this long back straight now, we are on the final lap of 3. Certainly closing up on the leaders. Now, I tend to ride from the behind the bike. I know a lot of you ride from the handlebars and the helmet cam. We'll show a little bit of that, though I have to admit I just don't ride from that view. I don't enjoy riding from that view personally. I do on MXGP as it happens, but not so much on MotoGP. I just have a better feel for the bike, having the bike in front of me. I enjoy playing it more. And for me, what's important about these videos is, yes, I like to show you guys the options, I like to show you the modes, but it's also important that I enjoy what I'm playing. Otherwise it just becomes a chore, and that's no good. Games should never be a chore. You should always play them the way you want to play them. If I want to play in cockpit, I'll play in cockpit. If I want to play from bonnet cam or bumper cam, I will, because it's whatever I feel gives me the experience from the game that I would like. And right now this is working well for me, closing up on these guys ahead of me and making a good job of it, but unable to get onto the podium. So that was that race, and now we're just going to look at the replays. I was asked for a look at the full screen replays following the slow-mo cam. All the slow-mo footage was actually taken from a race on this circuit, so I thought it was a good opportunity just to see it running now full speed. We can actually rewind in replays as well, so Milestone have made a step forward in replays there now. We can rewind, but look at the sort of the depth of field and everything else going on here. Really nice effects, lovely detail on the bikes. If you touch another bike, you'll see the scratches and effects on the bodywork. Lots of details being added, and it's being improved all the time. So this isn't the final version. There's still a lot of work going into it in terms of improving the final build, and that should always be noted. Audio, I'm going to come back on audio. I'm mixed on audio. The audio is better than it was, but it's still not real for me yet. That's just something we're going to look at, but we're going to analyze that in terms of game stuff later on. But certainly it's improved, but visually the game is absolutely stunning, and you can see here these replays are really something else. Racing games always generally do look better in replays, and you just get that moment to marvel and to see what they've been doing here. And of course bike games are even more challenging because you have all the body movement as well as just the vehicle itself. You know, it's you've got to put the body language of the bike there sliding. I mean, however you look at it, that's a good development. We're also going to look at how much the bikes are developed compared to the courses. Some courses are more developed than others in this version. Certainly it's going to be a building process. Obviously Milestone aren't the biggest developer in the world, so you know, it's going to take them time to adjust and improve. But I think what's good about their developments is every year we've seen improvements. You know, from WRC2 to WRC3 we saw big improvements, and again with WRC4, and from SBKs to MotoGP 2013, lots of improvement, and again we're seeing this here. So running on the PC version, the PS4 version I've seen looks identical. We'll probably show some of that I have on video on the channel in the coming days. And now I'm just going to leave you with this bit of replay. We've got a lot more to come in terms of MotoGP, and there'll be more from me very soon.